A very good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Subhashini. I'm a consultant obstetrician practicing at Fernandez Hospital, Hyderabad. Today, in our episode of Trailblazers, we have Dr. Ketna Mehta. Wonder Woman Ketna Mehta is giving spinal cord injury survivors wings to fly. Be it paragliding or wheelchair basketball, Dr. Ketna Mehta is an adventure sports enthusiastic. Ketna was 32 years old when she crash-landed during paragliding and had a devastating spinal cord injury. But in those dark hours, her family rallied around Ketna. Sister Dr. Neena Joshi boosted her morale where doctors worked on Ketna's injury. And what a fighter she proved to be, going on to do a PhD in management and winning awards. Suddenly, unfortunately, in 2000, Sister Neena passed away. Ketna and her younger brother Dhaval decided to honor her in the best way possible by launching an NGO in her name called Neena Foundation to support people with spinal cord injury. India has over 1.5 million people with spinal cord injuries, the second largest population in the world with this disability. For over 18 years, the NGO has supported spinal cord injury patients in multiple ways. Ketna has faced many obstacles like lack of support and awareness, but she was undefeated, bringing her management skills to forefront. She counseled patients, attended conferences, networked with doctors, and researched therapies, set up India's first spinal injury helpline to connect with patients in rural India. Today, Neena Foundation offers work-related therapies, holds employment and educational seminars, and donates assistive devices. She also started Spinal Cord Injury Awareness Day, marked on 25th June every year. Going ahead, she has plans to advocate for spinal cord injury to be included as a distinct disability in the RPWD Act. Ketna also has a larger mission to set up a world-class spinal cord injury rehabilitation center in Mumbai. She is a recipient of several awards, including the prestigious NCPEPD Shell Helen Keller Award 2002, Money Life Women Achiever Award 2012, and the recent being the Kevin Care Special Ability Award 2024. Hailing from a value-driven middle-class family based in Mumbai, Ketna is a vibrant, adventurous, energetic, fearless, patriotic, altruist, purpose-driven individual with a single-minded focus. She is hardworking and action-oriented difference maker. She's always striving for out-of-box solutions with a cheerful and can-do spirit approach towards life. Today, on this platform, she speaks on reimagining life after the most devastating permanent disability, a spinal cord injury. I welcome you, Dr. Ketna Mehta. Over to you.
And thank you so much, Dr. Subhashini, for your wonderful introduction. My immense gratitude to Mrs. Celine Vieira for suggesting me as your speaker for your Trailblazers Friday inspirational talk. I have great respect and admiration for a wonderful friend and a woman of substance. Mr. Walter Vieira is a living legend and an institution of global field of management consultancy. And every conversation or reading his articles is a masterclass in itself. I bow to both of you and thank you for this privilege to create awareness amongst the elite healthcare fraternity of Fernandez Hospital and your entire ecosystem. Thank you, Dr. Evita Fernandez, Dr. Subhashini, Mr. Elroy, and the entire brand and communication team of Fernandez Hospital. I am honored. 12th of Feb 95, on a Sunday at 12 noon, it was his last day and the last flight of my month-long paragliding camp in Virar, in Mumbai. I crash-landed and perfectly burst my thoracic level 12 vertebra in my spinal cord. My birthday too is 12/12. My life changed drastically, and how? Till that date, I was an adrenaline junkie to the core. At 32 years of age, in between running my own firm, Ubik Consultancy, which handled market research projects, I found time for adventure sports too. In the past, I had done rappelling, commando bridge crossing, and leapfrogging over natural rock faces, an activity called chimney crossing. Thrilling. But this was my first attempt at paragliding. It had been an exciting month. Glorious hours spent soaring in the clear blue sky. It was an exceptionally breezy day. Our instructor warned us that the flights may be called off if it got worse. But just before my turn came, the wind subsided a little, so I decided to take off. Moments later, all hell broke loose. The wind, which had turned to a mere whisper, suddenly picked up while I was still in the air. In spite of my repeated maneuverings, the glider refused to obey. It turned a whole 180 degrees to the right. It was hurtling to the ground. Alarmed, I tried to pull the brakes in my hands, but the strong gust of wind made the glider mechanism useless. Heart pumping over time, I was coming in too fast. I hit the rocky ground on my back, my buttocks, with a searing thud. I remained fully conscious. I had excruciating pain in my back, and my legs had gone numb. There was not a single external bruise or blood anywhere. The organizers and the other participants gathered around anxiously, and they carried me in the tent cloth, lifting my hands and my legs like this, and urgently arranged an ambassador vehicle, and they made me lie down on the rear seat and took me from the hilly campsite to a doctor in town. That was almost about 40 minutes. Meeting and being treated by Dr. Riten Pradhan, an ace orthopedic surgeon in Virar, I believe gave a divine shift in my life then onwards. After examining me through the excruciating pain and in my back and numb legs, he gently explained, "We need to prepare you for immediate surgery, Ketna. Please give the phone numbers of your family." And I shared double my younger brother's number. There were no mobile phones then, 1995. And my elder married sister, Dr. Neena, and her husband, Dr. Himanshu Doshi's number, landline numbers. They lived in Kandivali. On my request, Dr. Pradhan accompanied me by train. I was on a stretcher from Virar to the other station where my grief-stricken family was waiting. Once at Hinduja Hospital at Mahim, Dr. Pradhan went in search of Dr. Shekhar Bhojraj. He was and is the first spine surgeon of India, who luckily was in the hospital on a Sunday preparing for a spine workshop beginning the next day. I was immediately prepared for surgery. While I was being wheeled into the operation theatre, Neena holding my hands, and I looked with a weak smile at Neena's grim, concerned face close by my side, and motivationally uttered the words, "Don't worry, even if I cannot walk, as long as my brain is working, I can work and live my life." For 1 month, I was in the hospital, unable to sit, to stand, even to get up on my own, move my legs, pee or poop, or turn by myself. Nothing by myself. During that time, I overheard two nurses, while changing my catheter, discussing in hushed tones. This paraplegics को तो ये सबसे बड़ा problem है. This is the biggest problem of paraplegics. This was the first time I heard the word paraplegic. It was left to my elder sister, a ace homeopath doctor, Meena, to explain the true reality of my grave situation. Ketna, the doctors have diagnosed your condition as paraplegia. They say that the nerves below the fractured spot, which is thoracic level 12, are either totally damaged or traumatized. Physiotherapy will help get back some of the sensations, but the extent of the damage is not known as yet. But I know you can prove the doctors wrong. Prove the medical textbooks wrong. Show them that you will get back to what you were before the accident. Till date, I believe Nina's conviction in my potential and possibilities, and I continue to push my limits. Back home, the process of adjustments began. It was just a month after the accident, and in a sense, I was as a baby, needing assistance in every little task. I had new accoutrements, a brace, calipers for the legs, splints. The first time Milka, my physiotherapist, Dr. Milka Vivek, made me stand, it was almost like a free fall. I felt I was floating in mid-air and would fall down any moment. It is actually the small stuff, the simple day-to-day routine tasks that we do without thinking and now can't, that frustrated me and thrust the fact of my limitations in my face again and again. The fact that I'm fiercely independent and this role reversal of waiting, of asking for assistance and living a restricted life became my fire of determination. To be on my own, to not let my active and my disability hamper my active lifestyle. Soon, I became an active and willing partner in my physiotherapy exercises as Dr. V.C. Jacob, a veteran physiotherapist from Sion Hospital, instructed me. 6 hours a day for 2 years was my regimen, and I lovingly worked out, showing off my biceps and triceps too, because he explained to me that everything had to be on my hands, as the strength in my legs would take time, the muscle tone would take time, so I had to work on my upper lips. My management brain was ticking, and I realized to my utter dismay that there was no concept of holistic spinal cord injury rehabilitation in the financial center of India, Mumbai. I hardly had a support group to discuss and converse about the changes and developments in my recovery process. There was no occupation therapist. In fact, still there isn't any occupation therapy, which could guide me on clean intermittent catheterization. activities of daily living like bathing, wearing our outfits, our dress, home modifications, types of wheelchairs, to do transfers from the bed to the wheelchair, etc. My interface was only my God-sent ace doctor team and my educated, highly supportive family with 2 doctors, Nina and Hemubai, my brother-in-law. Even internet came much later. We are talking about 1995. I faced numerous challenges, like most disabled in the cities. We lived on the first floor without a lift. Dr. V.C. Jacob organized and installed railings for me. It's an old building and, the steps are very high. So on the banister, he installed the steel railings. And with insights and innovative ideas from Dr. Pradhan and Dr. Jacob, I was taught to climb stairs. First with a walker and then with crutches. It seemed like liberation. To my favorite outdoors, a step towards independence. Prior to this, when we returned from the hospital, my brother-in-law, Dr. Himanshu Doshi, solved the problem by carrying me on his shoulders up the 2 flights of 22 steps, and did this each time I had a doctor's appointment. This was a grim reality of living with spinal cord injury in Mumbai, unrehabilitated. God bless him. Along with my management consultancy projects, I involved my own team of doctors and held meetings at home in my pajamas and my brace, exploring more about research, developments, information, and ways to improve quality of lives. Dr. Pradhan, Dr. Bhojraj, Dr. Jacob, and myself would meet up to explore and share concerns and concerns and information. In fact, Dr. Jacob, the first time he took me down my flight of stairs fully, taught me how to sit in his car and made me sit on his front seat and drove me straight to the Paraplegic Foundation near Sion Hospital. He took me around the poor patients from far-flung rural and hinterland of India. And he said, they are weak in their minds and heart, and I want you to spend 1 day of every of your week for them. And since that day in 1995, we both started regularly visiting on Thursdays. We soon involved Dr. Bhojraj too. Being a spine surgeon, he got to know about rehabilitation and visited this center for the first time in Mumbai. Ours was a very small family, Dhaval, Rupal and myself. We lived together in Sion. My parents had expired early in 1988, my father, and in 1991, my mother, due to natural causes. And Nina was married and lived with Hemubai and his family in Kandivali. We were all young, positive, and independent since a young age, with our careers and fighting to earn our living. During my moments of despondency, it was Nina who inspired me. Maybe this has happened to you with a purpose. maybe this has happened so that you can make a difference in this world. For the kind of person you are, use your talent, your stubbornness and cheerfulness, your spirit to bring about a change in the lives of other people with spinal cord injury, especially the ones who do not have a voice of their own, who are not confident to fight for their rights, who don't have the resources or the communication skills, who don't know anything, have no medical information. That marked the turning point of my life as I resolved to, along with my professional career, to change the lives of others living with a permanent, lifelong, incurable, the most expensive and most devastating disability, spinal cord injury. Nina, knowing me very well and being a doctor, ensured that my adventure streak was fed and fearlessly took me to Lonavala, walking in the rain in my calipers, accompanied me to my consulting conference in Chennai, where Mr. and Mrs. Vieira met her. Edward Dubuno was the star speaker on creativity, took me to Malshet Ghats in the monsoons, along with Dr. Jacob and Bunty, our driver, took me to the Paraplegic Rehabilitation Center for the Army veterans who get injured in war or while serving in the line of duty at Khatki in Pune. My sister knew fully well what fueled my passion to live a full life and did it all so lovingly. 5 years into my spinal cord injury, and we had the gravest shock of our lives. At 39 years young, without any complaints, on 25th June 2000, Sunday morning, Nina woke up and in minutes collapsed. Unbelievable. Our world was shattered. This could not be happening in our lives. My anchor, my support, my soul sister, my cheerleader, my inspiration, who motivated me to strive to do the impossible, left for a heavenly abode. Suddenly, just like that. My heart cried, my mind went numb. I had no questions to ask God anymore. There seemed nothing in life. For whom? Why would I work hard and for what? I was enveloped in darkness and moroseness. Enter sunshine. Our family looked forward to welcoming Dhaval and Rupal's first child after 8 years of marriage. And all of you are in this field, so you know what joy a child brings in the lives of families. And they brought laughter, joy, sunshine back into our bleak lives once more. Our world started looking brighter and hopeful for the future. Now, there was reason to live, to do and continue. Soon thereafter, I started One World, Voice of Paraplegics. What I had was editing skills. After my accident, I got a lot of non-profit publications like BMA Review, Institute of Management Consultants of India, National Center for Quality Management, and I decided what I had was the connections and the information collected world over, and let me share and give hope through information and the knowledge. Our NGO, Dr. Subhashini, is 22 years old. We set it up in 2001 with One World, and today we are into 2023. And all this happened under one roof. As Dhaval, my younger brother's advertising agency, lovingly did the creative layout, branding, scanning, administrative activities. I sat home, I had a computer, and I did the entire, collection and composing, etc. Happy to state that so far we have published 36 issues since 2001, and all of them are uploaded on our website for all of you to read and share widely. www.ninafoundation.org. All these resources which can empower are available for free. It's the most consistent, informative publication on spinal cord injury in India. This is how Nina Foundation was born. Bit by bit, doctors connected me to new spine injured, and Dr. Jacob and myself started visiting them in hospitals, at homes, motivated them, counseled them, worked out solutions, and guided them and their families to lead a hopeful life. I was offered a job as an editor and associate dean at a management institute. And after collaborating with them, and besides doing my activities as a full-time faculty, it also gave me an opportunity to collaborate and have several Nina Foundation wellness seminars and programs on every aspect, because there was no rehab center, there was no culture of conferences, there was no culture of having the people with spinal cord injury coming and sharing about their problems, issues, and we need a multidisciplinary team of doctors. So we had these seminars in each and every field of the problem areas, because spine controls each and every organ of a body. It made a difference. We involved the students there and made a lot of difference. And they all started getting empowered. A community was formed. Friendships and bonding took place. This also gave me an opportunity, by being with this management institute, to rethink my PhD topic. I'd already enrolled for my PhD before my accident, and instead of customer satisfaction and service, I changed it to a real issue which I was grappling with personally, living with a spinal cord injury. And my topic for PhD, which I did from SNDT University, was market potential study for a world-class spinal cord injury rehabilitation center in Mumbai. This was the first PhD thesis in India by anyone, especially by a woman, on healthcare rehabilitation management. All the gaps that I unearthed through my research, I filled the same through innovative programs and projects, like forming the first spinal cord injury support group, the first spinal cord injury helpline, the first spinal cord injury awareness day globally. There were several individuals with spinal cord injury before me, but I looked beyond my comfort and created a community through the Nina Foundation network. We have a very vibrant, active buddy group. I started involving and mentoring other spine injured friends to create a link and help each other by sharing. I always say that Nina Foundation is a journey of sharing. Whatever I knew, with all the doctors that I was fortunate to have with, it has been shared. It's just a sharing journey. We, through Nina Foundation, have launched several innovations and educate, enable, and empower. We set up the Publication One World, a helpline, support group, email and WhatsApp group. Our website is extremely informative. The wellness seminars, even those are uploaded on our website on every aspect of spinal cord injury. In fact, we also for the first time in 2009, did the Spinal Cord Injury Awareness Day on 25th of June, Nina's Punya Tithi, and we made it into a Hope Day for spinal cord injured. And after my talk, you will also see a wheelchair dance. So the debut of introducing a group of friends with spinal cord injury was through a group wheelchair dance, which was specially coached and choreographed by Shamak Davar's Victory Arts Foundation. We also organized spinal cord injury camps in Mumbai, Sultanpur, Ghaziabad and Jalna. Started the very first weekly OPD with a multidisciplinary team dedicated where the spine injured and the family members all together got a complete 360 degrees holistic treatment. I must say here that each time, because without a brick and mortar rehab center, it was unheard of to have rehabilitation of spinal cord injury, because it necessitates that a patient stays in a residential place and then takes his treatment, learns his or her treatment, learns everything, and gradually develops from passive to a little bit active, and then mobility and learning skills depending upon the level of spine injury. And everyone said, no, Ketna, this cannot be done. This is impossible. There has been no precedent. But I just went ahead with my conviction that I cannot sit being happy that I have a DR degree and a PhD written along with my name, but we have to convert whatever is in the thesis into live action. And luckily, we got a small community center, thanks to my cousin sister, Mrs. Nivedita Bain Sheth, at Santa Cruz. Their organization is All India Women's Conference, and they had this small community center where they ran a balwadi and a lot of other activities. And on a Wednesday between 2 and 4, we got that free of cost. And as soon as we got that, a project Nirman started. We already had a team in place. And so we used to get from far and wide. We started getting our persons with spinal cord injury, and then at one place, their entire spine surgeons, physiotherapists, orthotists, a peer mentor with spinal cord injury, and what are the social worker, everybody was there. And in one go, the kind of motivation, the kind of inspiration, the kind of solutions we offered, it was a big hit, and it continues to be in different avatars. We did telecounseling, home-based. We've also started home-based rehabilitation because it is so difficult in cities and remote villages to come out of home. They are daily wage earners, the family members, they lose 1 day's pay, which is equivalent to their 3 days of meals. And that's the reason we do home-based rehabilitation. All these were unheard of, and we did it. We do virtual physiotherapy on a regular basis, and we also do telecounseling for all kinds of problems. The catheter has been stuck. There is no urine output happening. There are grade 4 beds sold for everything. And thank God for technology. It's really like right now what we are doing and connecting to the universe. For bladder, bedsore management, we also participate in the Mumbai Marathon. And this year in 2024, January 21st, it was our 18th Mumbai Marathon with the Champions of Disability team. We did outbound programs. What we did in management, I replicated that for the first time for friends with spinal cord injury, wheelchair games and much more. Because as we know, if we are happy, we are excited to do exercise and it works positively on each and every cell of our body. We have to remain happy. Our happy hormones have to be released frequently. We have created a vibrant community. Though we all speak different languages, may belong to different stratas of society, age groups, some live in remote villages, others in cities, all of us are connected with the common link of having suffered and experienced a sudden and most devastating, life-altering, permanent spinal cord injury. My PhD thesis got me to be part of World Health Organization's first and only international perspective on spinal cord injury report. It's a global research report and it's also there on our website. Please do read it. The objective of Nina Foundation for me is to give back to society what Nina gave me, a sense of hope and purpose, a sense of empowerment, and to inspire in others a will to continue with our lives. Just how my sister Nina said, take stock of your talents and skills you possess. Believe in your dreams and you will be a success. Let me enlighten you in simple terms about spinal cord injury, because there is nothing in our medical curriculum. We've been writing and requesting about including more about spinal cord injury. There are 1.5 million Indians currently living with spinal cord injury. This figure is also all thanks to the Nina Foundation initiative and my PhD. There was not a shred of statistics available. Nobody knew how many people are living with spinal cord injury in India. Our grassroots rehabilitation work, Nina Foundation's grassroots rehabilitation work for 22 years surprises us each time when we counsel a new rural or urban poor friend with spinal cord injury. The varieties of ways that spinal cord injury can occur. Madhu rolled down her terrace while she was barely 2 years old. Nita Panchal was 6 years old when the Bhuj earthquake struck in 2001. Sri N.D. Thara was in his village when the roof of his house fell on his head. Javed Bin Chheda was at a religious function and a tree branch fell on her head. Our young friend Kisan, and his story is the first story in our latest coffee table book, Narratives of Courage, Lives of Spinal Cord Injured Survivors in India, fell into an open manhole. This is the civic state of our country and our cities. Chirag was in the train blast, which happened due to a terror attack in Mumbai. Other life-saving injuries were caused by a vehicle being hit while waiting at a bus stop, bullet injuries, electric shock, lightning strikes, hitting the head on the roof of the aircraft due to air pockets, falling from the balcony while cleaning or hanging clothes, and losing a balance, falling from a tree, ladder, construction site, or electric pole. Someone was walking in a village with holding her mom's hand, and a bull ran into them from behind and flung her. She is a quadriplegic now, Samruddhi. Road traffic accidents cause 80% of spinal cord injury. Buses, trains, cars, tempos, trucks, bikes, rickshaws, train accidents. You will watch the rock star film of Arlene D'Souza, where she was off on a honeymoon to Bangalore from Mumbai in Udyan Express, and it met with an accident. It was all over in the papers, and that too was in 1994 December. And she got a spinal cord injury soon thereafter. Even while swimming, diving, stampedes at large gatherings, sports, adventure, falls from a camel or a horse, traumatic cases form All these are traumatic cases, form 90%. And then there are diseases of the spine, like the cancer of the spine or the TB of the spine. And this too, as I believe, is on the rise. Almost every month we get one case of either tumor of the spine or TB of the spine. And this is significantly growing. We have children, Sanika, Suraj, Prashant, Tanya, recently expired, young children who not only battled cancer and chemotherapy, but now live with a lifelong spinal cord injury. Can you imagine what the parents go through, what the family members go through? Spinal cord injury can happen to anyone, anytime, anywhere, any age, any place. It's not from birth. It's incurable. There is no cure. It is permanent. Billions of dollars worldwide are being poured into research for a cure. In fact, Elon Musk, with his Neuralink, has also been making news in recent times. What is the solution? It is a 14-letter impactful word called rehabilitation for a reasonably good quality of life. And during my PhD, I came out with this 7 steps of rehabilitation that everyone, whether in India or abroad, they go through these steps. First of all, physical, physiotherapy, occupation therapy, psychological, a trauma. Trauma has occurred. And how do you cope with someone who was running, climbing, and immobilized? Vocational, relearning new skills and getting new job opportunities. Generally, this happens to male, and they're the only wage-earning members, only ones earning for their families. Social, one is isolated, cut off, because there are a lot of things which somehow we are not able to participate in because zero accessibility. Recreational, unheard of. In 1995, I kept asking my physiotherapist, I kept asking, I would like to get into sports, I would like to do swimming, but none of the physiotherapists knew swimming. There were no swimming pools where there were wheelchair hoists, and even till date, it's very, very rare. And spiritual, I always believe that to have faith, to continue with faith, gives us so much of a strength and power to overcome so many obstacles and challenges. The impact of spinal cord injury is on the human anatomy, everything, bladder, bowel, skin, fertility, the breathing, the temperature, everything, our internal organs, our digestive system, everything is governed by the spine. So actually, that is why it is called the most devastating disability. And yet, in our law, spinal cord injury is not a separate disability. It is so ironical that worldwide this is recognized as a separate disability. In India, we don't have an identity. And this is my fight, and this is the fight of Nina Foundation. We're the first ones to come up with this, that we must be a distinct identity of being spinal cord injured. Today, when I get a disability certificate or a UDID card, unique disability identity card, I am labeled as with someone with locomotor disability. All the orthopedic doctors listening and part of your ecosystem know that locomotor is only movement. Here there is no sensation, there is no the mosquito bite, hot or cold, nothing we know. So entire human anatomy gets impacted. There is so much of a psychological impact. We have had community washrooms in slum areas and in rural areas. There are Indian toilets even till date. There is no rehabilitation. So very rarely can paraplegics squat with their crutches on that Indian toilet or walk the distance because there is no sphincter control. You cannot hold, a person with spinal cord injury cannot hold the control of their bladder or their bowel. So it's pointless to visit. There is no concept of commode chairs, I mean, the reality is so. You will find, recently I was at the Spine 20, which is affiliated to G20 as a speaker, and I said, I do a lot of immersive counseling and research, and I try to find out which village, where it is, what all is there in that village. And it is so amazing to know. And it is such an eye-opener that there are liquor shops. There are liquor shops in every remote village. There is no chemist store, and there are no supply stores for commode chairs, crutches, walkers, catheter bags, urine bags, nothing. This is the sad state of affairs. Our government seriously needs to know what and do a rethink as to what is the value of a life. What is the value of a human life? Whether able-bodied or someone who has been affected. Like I had 80% disability. My disability certificate says 80%. But today I can assure you, I burn the midnight oil. I work very hard so that so many other friends with spinal cord injury can have a better shot at life. So imagine if more and more people were rehabilitated, we would indeed become an economic superpower. There is psychological impact, there is educational impact. For 2 years, 6 hours a day, we are supposed to exercise. That's the only way. Whatever we have lost in terms of our muscle tone, muscle power, quadriceps, everything can be regained with active physiotherapy. Physiotherapy is the only solution. There is a lot of mumbo jumbo which goes on in our country, and I'm also part of the education committee of some Spinal Cord Society, where we keep on getting such horrifying stories, and we say that this is all illegal, this is not right. Like even stem cell treatment is not proven, and one cannot do it for spinal cord injury. But there are so many TV programs and interviews which are aired only in rural areas, and they fall for it. They spend lakhs and lakhs of money in that. They can't go back to education because 2 years they lose. And even none of the educational leaders understand that, it's what are the concessions and requirements. So if we include spinal cord injury in the Rights of People with Disability Act, we are hopeful that there will be a policy. So all of you out there, please use your own muscle, your own connects to escalate this particular thing about, including spinal cord injury, because 1.2 million people and their families will bless everyone who played a role. Employment impact. A lot of people still don't have any earning at all. They were from farming or they were construction sites, and they don't even have a wherewithal in the poor roads construction to move and work there. There is social impact, temples, parks, shops, religious functions, weddings, everything is, and every aspect of life becomes out of bounds. They're completely socially cut off. Spiritual impact. The Indian society mores mention karma, leading one to believe that you must have done something terribly wrong, very bad, for the state of affairs in this present life. This trauma shakes one's faith and belief and takes some time to redesign the thinking and move ahead. In fact, when I was talking to a young girl, Alka Nikam, and she was pouring me all her woes, and she said, Didi, I would like to visit Siddhivinayak. Whenever I pass by and say that Bhagwan bhi root gaye, even God is sulking with us because I cannot enter the temple. And soon thereafter, on Founders' Day, Nina's birthday, 9th of March, we organized, we speak to the trustees, we put our own ramps and had a wonderful darshan at both Siddhivinayak and Mount Mary Church. We made special dignified ramps specially for that day, and you should have seen the joy and the hope in the eyes. Even this outing, even this meaning that there is a family with us makes a huge difference. The secondary complications impact, you'll be surprised. Pressure and bed sores. We've had patients who die of bed sores, urinary tract infections. People die of UTI, spasms, conjectures, swelling and edema, autonomic dysreflexia, surge in blood pressure. In fact, I have a high blood pressure and I'm on 3 medication. Kidney stones, because we catheterize and we have to have a high amount of fluids. Kidney failure. There are people who need dialysis. We have a friend called Ketna Mehta, and he stays all alone. His mother is no longer there, and he goes every week, twice a week for dialysis. Burnt skin due to electric blanket or hot water falling on your legs, or sitting in a cab which is parked in the sun, and your entire skin can get burnt, and then it means 6 to 8. It takes a long time to heal because our body is not regular. It's not like other skins. Diaper rashes, falls during transfer, frozen shoulders. I had a huge attack of arthritis last year. I was grounded for 8 months. Spondylosis, fractures, osteoporosis. A lot of people get anxiety attacks, depression and stress. Catheter injuries, constipation, piles, fissures. So a lot of people do digital stimulation for bowel evacuation and they develop fissures, piles, constipation. A lot of surgeries are required, like there is no, in male the fertility is impacted more. Women can have children and they have the painless deliveries because there is no sensation. People have to go in for penile implants in males for fertility and removal of uterus in females due to heavy bleeding and dependence on a caregiver. We also have cases where a quadriplegic lady, the parents decide to remove the uterus because it's so difficult for the elderly parents to take care when they are menstruating. And all this secondary complications due to a fracture in the spine. How do we do and how do we serve thousands of friends with spinal cord injuries sitting in one place in Mumbai with a very small but very, very, very efficient small team? We have Rajeshri Patil in the rural areas as a rural head. She herself is from a small village, Chamak, in Amravati, and had visited our camp in Mumbai and on her own decided that even I wish to help and volunteer, and had started, so many every week we get. We have Bhavna Chheda. She is a quadriplegic and believes that there is no other NGO like Nina Foundation who does such pure work in terms of absolutely serving the community, and works with one thumb, has a mathematical brain and fantastic memory. We have Yusuf Bhai, whose wife Samina is spinal cord injured and has a God-given gift of compassion and all kinds of service, even great for bed sores. He knows how to get solved, and all this we do free of cost. And we have Nikita. So all our friends who work and serve in Project Nirman are friends with spinal cord injury, and all are women except one.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your life's journey and the survival story. It's really beyond words to put it how inspirational. I mean, we can simply, being on virtual platform, also feel the vibes. So thank you, Dr. Ketna, for spending your time with us, for speaking to us.